We are sitting here with Dennis Heiss. Dennis is, I don't know that he's a long-term MCA employee, but he's a long-term MCA friend and employee. So we'll say
correct.
that.
Yeah, that's a good way of saying it.
So how long have you been at MCA?
5 years and 28 days. So, yeah.
5 years and 28 days.
28 days.
So 5 years and almost a month.
Yep, August 3rd was my first day with MCA. So.
And your title, your official title is?
Technical Services Manager.
Technical Services Manager.
Yep.
Okay. Let's, before we get started, well, before we jump into things, tell me something that not many people know about Dennis Heiss.
Oh, that's tough. I mean, once you get to, it's not hard to realize I'm an open book. It's an easy, horrible poker face, but
bad poker face. I will say that. Yeah.
Bad poker face is more accurate. Yeah. I like to draw artistically. A lot of people don't know that. I used to do that.
Do you really?
Yeah, my passion when I was a kid was to be a comic book artist, actually. And for years after I graduated college, I still drew. And then life happens and you just kind of don't do it. But yeah, it's a thing. A lot of people don't know that
I've known you for a long time and I had no idea. And I am envious. I have no artistic abilities whatsoever. Yeah. And to be able to draw how people see something like that's amazing to me.
I think James has got a couple of sketches we've made of some folk, so you might be able to con him out of letting you see some of those.
All right. Yeah. I'll ask him about that. Okay. What makes Dennis? What's something makes you laugh?
Honestly, there's not one thing. The interactions that I have, and most of the time with my associates that I work with in the support center, I describe it as every day is Seinfeld. It's about nothing, and that's really what makes me laugh. It's nothing. The conversations I have with Sean Brooks and John Pike and Adam Banderigi, and the list goes on and on. With Brandon Odell and any number of people, every day there's something that I laugh, bend over, holding my stomach, laugh. So it's just conversations with people. Yeah.
So I know, but tell us what you did before you came to MCA.
So I was, I actually started out. I was in engineering department until I realized that I hate that. That's awful. Just numbers all day long. So I started in IT at a manufacturing facility. It was actually international, very large company.
Yeah.
And was there for 13 years. And then I decided, 13 was time to go. And then for 10 years, I was at a national trucking company and was doing IT for them the entire time. So been in IT, it's going on 18, 19 years. And then finally decided that corporate America and I were just not made for each other. Yeah. And that's when made the leap to MCA.
So I know you from when you were actually a customer.
That's correct.
So you were a customer, and James and I worked with you. James Bender and I worked with you at one of your previous employers. So that's where I first met you, as you being my customer.
17 years ago.
And 17 years, and we worked great together then.
Yeah, I don't know what changed. Well, we don't anymore, but yeah. No, I'm kidding.
And then you left and went to another company, which was also a customer. So you weren't my customer, but
that's correct.
You were still an MCA customer.
That's right.
And then you were, if I remember right, you were just a little unhappy, but mostly we came after you, or we needed somebody.
So that's actually a great story about that, and it's a testament to the MCA way. MCA will not hire a customer, an active customer.
Yep.
Okay, it's the relationship, and we all know that MCA is about taking care of the customer. And in point in fact, there were several times throughout those 17 years of knowing you and knowing James and multiple individuals, you have those days, and you're like, I got to get out of here. And you're just talking and passing, right?
Yeah.
And nothing ever comes of that. But in this particular case, how I came to be at MCA, I had stayed in touch with you that entirety, 17 years, even though you were no longer my sales rep. We stayed good friends. Excuse me. Knew Hal Landreth, stayed in touch with James.
Yep.
And I had decided I was actually leaving to the point of, I was getting ready to move to Nashville. I was so just with the stresses and not going into all that.
Right,
I was done. So I let that be known, and it was more of a, hey, I just want to tell you guys bye. I'm done. It's over. I'm headed out. Oh, you're not a customer anymore. Let's talk. At that point, so it's to honor the agreement of no, we don't go after customers, and that's the integrity there.
Yeah.
And so my interview was actually in Hal Landreth's kitchen one day after work. Yeah, it was awkward. You show up and you're thinking about, going to a person's kitchen, and here's Hal in his flip flops, and he's getting ready to go out on the boat. So this might be the greatest interview I've ever done, So, and there it was.
So, what was it about? Now, you knew about MCA. You had been a customer. You had been on the other side of the table.
Yeah.
What was it that made you come to this side of the table? Made you want to come to MCA? What were the deciding factors there?
Yeah, a few deciding factors would be the opportunity to role reversal on being a IT consumer versus an IT truly architecting and implementing and being able to provide the solution versus I need a solution was intriguing for years. That had been intriguing to me. The deciding factor for MCA was, for one, obviously, knowing the people helped me know the company a little already, had a brief glimpse. But, and I apologize if you have to edit this out, it's not bad, but from where I came from was always what I considered the polishing the turd, pardon my language. You had inherited somebody else's mess, right? And you showed up, and for 13 years or for 10 years, you're just keeping it going and just kind of tacking on your
lipstick on a pig.
That's probably a better way of putting it. Yes. Yeah. So at MCA is the opportunity, and when Hal and I and James talked about it, it was an opportunity to almost from the ground floor up. Support center, help desk services had only been around for a year. Data center had been around for maybe a year and a half to 2 years. So we were on the ground floor. The opportunity to have a lasting impact and to help build something from the ground up, I had never in my professional career had the opportunity to do.
Yeah.
And to do it with people that I knew and liked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you just don't pass that up.
Yep.
That was it. Yeah.
What's your favorite MCA memory?
So, there's a tough one to pick, but I would say that the one that really sticks out, especially talking about, going back to when we first met and everything. It's no secret that sometimes James and I will clash a little bit on philosophical differences. But he's so good at what he does, right? But it is. But let's rewind 12 years ago, and so you and I had first met.
Yeah.
And you'll see where I'm going. We had first met, and we're doing an Exchange 2000 project upgrade.
Okay.
And we bring in, James Bender.
Yeah.
And this guy, he's got this. He knows what he's doing. He's speaking very well towards it. We're getting ready to go to Exchange 2000 to 2010, I believe it was. Anyway, whatever it was, we had no idea what we were doing. So we bring in James, and here we are. And anybody who knows me knows I'm a planner. Everything. Let's plan this. If this doesn't happen, what are we going to do? And anybody that knows James, here's where we clash. We'll just deal with it when we get there.
He's kind of a fly by the seat of his pants.
And he nails it, right? He has done wonderful things that way. And so we're sitting there, and I had ordered 23 servers from you for this project to ship out all over the globe, and I'd never been to the facility. You have myself and one of my associates over, and there's James, and so we're in the warehouse. And James says, "Oh yeah, look up there, way up at the top of the warehouse on the shelf. That's all your servers." Oh, and I'd been on James. Hey, can you get me a project plan? We're last minute here. I need a project plan. You're part of it. No, we got this. I hear this all the time. No, we got this. We know what we're doing. We're good. Still hear this. Okay. So It's your servers up there on the top shelf, but I don't know if it's all of them. And he gets, and I believe it was Josh Coulter. I believe it was Hannah's husband.
Yeah.
So yeah. That's I met him about the same time as well, and so he's got his forklift, and he lifts James up on this pallet, empty pallet, and you were standing right there. I don't know if you remember this. So he gets up at the top shelf, and he's like, oh, he's got the pick list, and he's like, oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, all 23 servers are here. I was like, yeah, it's my project plan up there. And I've been on him about it for days, and he's like, what? I was like, no. Keep looking. I bet it's up there if you keep looking. And I reached over in front of, over Josh and turned it off the forklift. I was going to leave him there till he got me my project plan. So he finally said, man, yeah, I'll get you a project plan. It still took him another 3 days, but I got one. Yeah. So, and I will never forget that. That was good.
And as a customer, you could...
I could get away with that then, yeah. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure in the last 5 years, James has slowly been paying me back for that one. I don't know. He earned it.
He has a way of doing that. But no, anytime you get one over on James, I like it. Respect.
Yeah, thank you. That's probably the only time we'll ever do it.
So in these 5 years, you were brought in, like you said, we were building this support center.
Right.
So we had made the leap of faith to add this division, but we really nobody in-house knew where to point this ship.
Right.
And so you were brought in to do that. And so from where you came in the door and sat down with your notebook at your desk for the first time to where you are now, how has your job changed?
It's the job itself is still, my duties are primarily still the same.
Yeah.
The thing that gives me so much pride in how that job has changed is the growth that we've seen. I had just under 20 people reporting to me on my team. And that at the time it covered infrastructure, network operations, field, support desk, and slightly under 20 people. And we have grown to the point in 5 years that we've had to split my department twice.
Yeah.
And I still have 32 direct reports, and it's 32 or 33 now.
Yeah.
Just added one last week. CEM, bless him, came in and helped, and he took on the infrastructure, and he took on network operations and field services management, and then bless every individual on those teams, but especially the team leads who we've grown to the point where team lead used to just be a thing, a name you didn't know. If you got a question, ask me, kind of thing. And in the last probably 18 months, that name carries a lot of weight with it.
Yeah.
They're taking on a lot of what I was trying to do, which is just provide leadership and guidance and structure.
Yep.
And I look at that and I think, gosh, man, 5 years, and this division has grown, this company has grown. Yeah. And that's amazing to me.
In those 5 years, how have you changed professionally and personally? How have you changed over these years?
It goes hand in hand. I treat everything as a type of life lesson to be used in both. I learned a lot before I got here on, IT and then how to deal with people. Yeah. But some of the things I've really learned since I've been here, really refined, was how you deal with a customer. Yeah. It's different when it was an internal customer, and now it's somebody you may never get the opportunity to see. You just don't want them to be a voice on the other end of the phone, getting to know your customers and dealing with that. And then not the knee jerk, not the panic, especially when you're talking to the guy that's got the reputation for hair on fire. Hey, we got a problem. Let's fix that. To sit back and give it a moment, think about it. Learn that from Mike. And the other thing I learned from Mike was listen. Because if you're talking, you're not listening. Yep. And those are two things I will take to my grave. Yeah. Is don't knee jerk and listen.
Just listen.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're stranded. You're out somewhere. You're stuck. You're broke down for whatever reason. Somebody left you. The boat pulled off. You're whatever. Yeah. Who from MCA are you gonna call?
there's no right or wrong. That's the beauty of MCA. I could call anyone.
Yeah.
I could call any single, coworker. And
who's your first call going to be to?
Oh,
you're going to call in, Faith answers, and you say, Faith, I need to speak to
Dale Harwood, maybe.
Dale Harwood.
Yeah.
Dale Harwood.
A lot of mad respect for Dale Harwood.
Yeah.
Or Jan.
Yeah.
And anybody. You hate to even pick anybody because you don't want to leave anybody out.
No, I understand. But either one of those two guys,
very squared away individuals.
They're going to drop what they're doing and come get you. Yeah, I agree.
But probably also Sean Brooks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now things got a little crazy. They got a little out of control. They got out of hand. Now you need bail money.
Yeah.
Jennifer said, click, I'm not coming.
And she wouldn't.
Yeah. Who from MCA are you going to get to come bail you out?
Well, it'd probably be somebody at MCA's fault that I'm there. So I don't know if I could call anybody from MCA. I mean, you've met Hal Landreth.
Yeah. Know Hal well.
Highly suspect. So.
Yeah.
I don't know that I'd call anybody from MCA.
Nobody from MCA.
Because if it wasn't somebody's fault there, I don't want them knowing about it. So I'll just ride it out. I'll be in a week. I'll take vacation. I'll call Dale.
Some personal days.
Yeah, I'll call Dale or Jan or Sean and say, hey, just turn in some vacation for me, Don't tell anybody.
I got you. All right. For new employees, when a new employee starts in your department, or let's go somewhere else. Let's go if an employee from another department at MCA started and you were being introduced to him.
Yeah.
What would your advice be to that employee, that's just starting out their first day?
I know if it's anybody in networking, I'll tell them buckle up. Really buckle up, because I go back to my first day and you're just like, whoa, drinking from the fire hose.
Yeah.
A little bit of culture shock. Just taking in because we do so much.
Yeah.
For any new employee though, I would tell them, be patient.
Yeah.
Things will come. The question you always get is when can I move to the next thing? And the thing that our leadership will do is, listen, we don't smoke and mirror you to death. Hey, there's an advancement opportunity when there's an opportunity. When a customer has a need that we can't fulfill, boom, positions open at that point.
Yeah.
Who can predict that? So.
Yeah.
But it's generally the thing you tell them, welcome to the family, and we mean that. Be comfortable and realize that you're part of something bigger now.
That's good advice. That's well said.
Thank you.
What do you see now? You've been a customer, you've been an employee, so you're on both sides of the table. What do you see as MCA's legacy?
I've never in my life seen any employer treat or take care of its family, for lack of a better word, its employee base, quite like this one.
Yeah.
We say it, but we also do it. It's not this, hey, now we got you in here, we sold you on this. No, I don't think a lot of people understand. And I hope most people never have the opportunity to, it sounds horrible, to find out. But when something bad happens, so many people, as the entity, MCA as a whole, has your back.
Yeah.
And to me, that is a legacy. You just can't take that away.
It's like a rally in the troops, isn't it? It's a little support group in itself.
Yeah, and that to me, when I'm getting ready to take a dirt nap, whatever you want to call it, and if you were to ask me that same question, I think that's what would stick out in my mind. What do you remember about MCA? Man, they took care of people.
Yeah,
and it's not just customers; it's people.
Yep.
Yeah.
How do you think that how has Dennis contributed to that legacy?
Hopefully structure. And then, because that was kind of part of the reason I came in. There was, how do we do this and do it just not the Wild West, if you will. And hopefully the legacy there, or contribution of that is, I've had the privilege of bringing in a lot of new associates and helping to develop. Folk like Sean Brooks has contributed, helped carry that banner. And John Pike and Charles Warren and Jared Goggins, Ian Sharp. I'm just naming off all my associates that I've said, hopefully they've seen by example, but if they didn't, it's just built into them. Do such an amazing job of leadership, and I like to think that I had a lot to do with that.
Yeah.
Just as at the least bringing that to the table.
Yep. It's when you first came here, everybody was so excited for the direction of that department, because it was growing, and MCA had made a big investment in that division. And so what happened was, when you got here, first of all, when Dennis Heiss says, yeah, I'll do that, you do that. I mean, you do.
I try.
When you say, I'll take care of it.
Yeah.
It's taken care of. You're very passionate about, this is how David sees this, you're very passionate about your job, but also I think you being so recently a customer, you know what a customer expects, what a customer needs, what a customer wants. And so you get to implement that from our side.
Yeah.
And so you make sure that your follow-up, it's just fantastic about you reaching out to the customer and making sure you make numerous calls through the day to customers just to follow up, to make sure they're okay, to make sure, hey, did we handle that right? And so that's what I see as part of your legacy, and I hope that continues, because it's fantastic. And I'm glad that you're teaching that and you're able to pass that down through your department.
Yeah, I mean, it's
a great
easy.
trait.
Thank you very much. It's easy to forget, and techs, we're notoriously bad for this. A couple of clicks, a couple of swipes of the mouse, and it's fixed.
Mm-hmm.
Are you sure? Is it fixed from the paying customer's perspective?
Right.
And that's a big thing for MCA. You fix people, then you fix the problems. And see, people call us, they're mad. Yeah. Maybe not irate, but listen,
something's wrong.
Something is broken. Hey, you're the only one who can help me, and so I'm calling you. And building that bridge and that connection with that person, letting them know that, hey, I'm a person too.
Yep.
That actually, whether I mean it or not, I care.
Yeah.
I'm telling you I care. That's so critical.
Yep.
And you finish that up by, when you're done fixing it, calling them back and go, hey, the last question you should ask a customer on every phone call is there anything else I could do for you? And just hearing that as a customer, you're like,
yep.
Oh, that guy or that lady, champs.
Yep.
They care.
Yeah. Goes a long way.
Yeah.
So last question, if you're going to write a book, you're going to write a movie, you're going to, about MCA, what's the title going to be?
Oh, that's tough. Yeah, I don't know. Probably a movie. Passionate about movies, but
all right.
A title.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd imagine the tagline would be, "You can't make this up." But I have no idea what I'd call the movie. I don't know. But you can't make this up.
You can't make this up.
No. And you start, thinking about all the different problems and calls and interactions you've had. I don't know what you call that, but it definitely have that tagline.
Yeah.
Because you do.
It may not be a bad title.
It may not be.
You can't make this up.
It may not be. Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't quite have pop to it.
Just some of the stories. Yeah.
But sometimes some of the things you're like, wow, did I just fix that? Wow. Okay. Or did I just see that?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So I think that'd do it.
Dennis, thank you.
Well,
Appreciate you coming in here and spending time.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me. Hi, I'm Dennis Heiss, Technical Services Manager for Mike Collins & Associates, and I am MCA.